What is up, Shredders? Today, Q&A number 3. Let's get on with it. Once I fix my freaking phone right here. Fix the phone. Okay, here we go. Okay, first question by Jeremy D'Souza. Jeremy D'Souza. Okay, I read on the internet that it's the magnetism induced from the pickup pole to the string that produces the sound when plucked. Won't this work only on ferromagnetic strings? Also, in that case, why does my pickup work with nylon strings? I tried to look into this. I'm no scientist, but what I learned when I was Googling a bunch of things is that it's kind of a relative type of energy to it. Ferromagnetic strings, I think that's how you say it. Ferromagnetic strings just have a higher probability of having that energy that will transfer well with the magnets. Nylon strings have a lower amount of energy that will still put out somewhat. It's not completely zero, but it's not completely good. You know what I mean? it's hard to explain, but there's still energy in those nylon strings, and your pickups will still pick up a bit of that energy to it. I'm no scientist, but I tried my best to answer this question. It really almost blew my mind out when I was trying to read and study about this thing. I'm really not the best person to be talking to about this, sorry. But still, thank you for the question, and I still remember your suggestion for the Boss Katana Mini, and it's still in the back of my mind every time I go to buy new equipment. I'm like, I need to do that. I need to do it. Okay, this one comes from Torrent Syndicate. Okay, and this comes from my whammy pedal review. He says, can the same effect from Korn's BBK be made on this, the whammy pedal, the standard whammy pedal? And I said, hell yeah, because I listened to it, and everything on there you could do with a standard whammy pedal. And yeah, Korn BBK, great song. They really are really great at using the whammy pedal and 7-string guitars. They're a great band. Also, sorry for rushing this thing so much. I just took some pre-workout. I wanted to try taking some pre-workout for my videos, and I feel like that high energy vibration going on. Normally, I actually quit caffeine like a year ago because I was getting heart palpitations from it, but I figured I would try to take 1 scoop of pre-workout before every week to see if I can get into that high energy mode for the videos, and this is why I'm so amped and pumped up to do this video. Okay, this one comes from Carlos Robert with a U in it. Hopefully I'm saying your name right, Carlos. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it a lot. What gauge of strings are you using? For the Telecaster, they are pure 10s, and it's in C standard. I'm working on a Strat right now, and it's going to be an E standard, and that one right now has 8s on it, but I usually generally go with 9s. And the 8s are great because you just fly on that thing with no effort whatsoever. You barely feel your hands being in threat of arthritis or anything like that. It's a great gauge, and I haven't had any of them snap yet. The only problem I have with 8s is that they can be difficult to find. So 9s are very likely to be found anywhere you want. Okay, Rozer. Okay, this question comes from Rozer. I hear this amp has a lot of problems with hiss, possible earthing issues. What do you think? And this is coming from the Marshall MG video. The Marshall MG, yes, it's a very hissy amp. It's not the greatest amp in the world. I think a lot of the hiss comes from the preamp itself. It's definitely a cheaper type of preamp. What I found is that the MGs beyond 10 watt, usually the 15 watt and up, I've never had a real problem with a lot of the hiss. And I think a lot of that has to do with the it has an effects loop in the back as well. So if you want a noise gate on there, you can definitely gate it off. And he also has another question. How would you compare Marshall to Blackstar? I'm new to electric and want to get a home amp. Not sure to go 10 watt or 15 watt or what brand. Personally, I think both brands are great, Marshall and Blackstar. I would probably suggest people go with Blackstar unless you want to go with a Marshall code. The reason for this is because they're more modern sounding. And I think a lot of, when you begin guitar, you really want the sound to be, you want a lot of effects on it. Let's be honest. When I first started guitar, I had a very plain Jane amp. It wasn't the Marshall MG, it was a Fender Squier 15 watt, and it was a great amp and it was very plain. It was great to start off with, but to be honest, I bought the Digitech RP like 6 months later and I was baffled by how many great effects were there. And I think having a great plethora of effects for a beginner is enormous, because it really helps you develop a sense for the effects you like and what you don't like. Even the amp modeling, you can figure out kind of what sounds you like and what you don't like. A huge fan of the Marshall DSL, because a lot of the amp modelers I found, the Marshall DSL was just a cool sound to it. Same with effects like flanging and delay and reverb. Yeah, if you want a dry signal, you can, but options are great with the effects as well. Blackstar has more of a modern sound to it, and you can really dial in a lot of that, a lot of the more modern metal sounds with a Blackstar than you can a Marshall, especially an old Marshall. But yeah, if I were to suggest anything, Blackstar or Marshall, you really can't go wrong too much with their newer stuff, especially if you get the Marshall code for a practice amp. I was tempted to buy a ton of times. And the Blackstar, the ID core amps, I've been tempted to buy those a lot too, because they just sound really good and they're very reliable. And in fact, Blackstar was started by a lot of ex-Marshall guys, and so they really know their stuff. And you can get either the British Marshall-like sound from a Blackstar, or you can go to their American side. They have a knob on there called the ISP that goes from British to American sounding, and you get more of that Mesa Boogie type of sound on the American side. But overall, you really can't go wrong with either one. Just go with whatever your gut tells you, in my opinion. Okay, this one's from Fake Name. Fake Name. I can pronounce that, thank God. He says, answer me this, riddle me this. Squier Standard Stratocaster or Yamaha Pacifica 112J. And honestly, it's like the last question. You can't go wrong with either. Yamaha makes amazing stuff. They're very underrated as a guitar company. And to me personally, between the two, I would actually go with aesthetics. I think the Yamaha Pacifica guitars are really cool and they work really, really well. But the aesthetics of the whole Fender vintage thing for me has always been so huge. And so if it was up to me, I would go with the Squier. But yeah, if you like the Yamaha, you like the look of it, you like the way it plays better, yeah, go with the Yamaha. It's all about your gut, more or less. At least for me, when it comes to going to a guitar store or going online, be like, I want that. Give me that. So that is Q&A 3 high energy version. We'll see how long this will go until I crash and I sleep for 9,000 days and I change my name to Rumpelstiltskin. If you like this Q&A, subscribe. If you didn't like it, subscribe and leave a comment below or don't. Do whatever you want. Have a great day and blessed Christmas. Thank you.